In the quiet countryside of East Yorkshire, England, a farmer's field revealed a secret that had been sleeping beneath the soil for more than 2,000 years. At first glance, it seemed like just another archaeological dig, another Iron Age site waiting to be catalogued. But as the earth was carefully brushed away, the team of archaeologists froze. What they had uncovered was something so rare, so utterly astonishing, that it would rewrite what we know about power, gender, and life in ancient Britain. Buried in the ground was not just a skeleton, but the remains of a woman of extraordinary status. She was laid to rest in a manner that stunned the experts, with her chariot still intact and two ponies positioned as if ready to ride once again into battle or ceremony. The discovery was so unique that the world began calling her the Chariot Queen. Who was this mysterious woman? Why had she been buried with such extraordinary honors, usually reserved for warriors and kings? The answers are still cloaked in mystery, but the clues whisper of a society very different from what many believed. The burial dates back to the Iron Age, around 500 to 300 BCE. This was the time of the Aras culture, connected to the Parisi tribe, a Celtic people who lived in what is now Yorkshire. These tribes were known for their fierce independence, their warrior spirit, and their complex spiritual traditions. Chariot burials were not unknown among them, but they were incredibly rare and almost always associated with powerful men. Yet here lay a woman given the same honor. Her ponies, carefully placed, suggested a symbolic journey, perhaps a voyage to the afterlife. The chariot itself, a marvel of Celtic craftsmanship, spoke of wealth and status. Whoever she was not ordinary. She was a leader, a figure of immense importance. For decades, historians assumed that Iron Age tribes were strictly patriarchal, with men as chiefs and warriors and women confined to domestic roles. But the Chariot Queen shattered that image. Her burial suggests that women in Celtic society could rise to the very top, as queens, priestesses, or even warriors. In fact, Roman records from centuries later speak of powerful Celtic women. Boudica, the warrior queen who led an uprising against Rome, and Cartimandua, queen of the Brigantes tribe in northern England. Perhaps the Chariot Queen was their spiritual predecessor, a ruler who commanded loyalty, wealth, and respect long before Rome ever set foot on British soil. Archaeologists continue to debate her true role. Some believe she was a queen, a political leader whose influence stretched across the region. Others think she may have been a high priestess, revered for her spiritual authority. The Celts believed in powerful connections between the human world and the divine, and such a burial could symbolize her role as a bridge between the living and the gods. And then there is the possibility that she was a warrior. Her chariot was not just ceremonial, it was a weapon of war. Celtic chariots were designed for speed and agility, used to terrify enemies and deliver swift strikes in battle. Could it be that the Chariot Queen herself rode into combat, her ponies charging across the battlefield, her presence inspiring warriors by her side? The Chariot Queen's discovery was more than just a burial site. It was a direct challenge to long-held assumptions about ancient society. It proved women could hold extraordinary power, not just behind the scenes, but openly as leaders. It revealed the sophistication of Iron Age culture, the craftsmanship of the chariot, the ritual placement of animals, the symbolism of the burial. It opened a window into belief systems. The journey to the afterlife was not just for men of war, but for women of influence. This was not just an archaeological find. It was a statement from the past, telling us that the Iron Age world was far more complex, far more equal than many had imagined. Of course, we may never know her name. Time has stolen her voice, her story, and the details of her reign. But in some ways, her mystery only adds to her power. The Chariot Queen represents more than one woman. She represents an idea. The idea that history is never as simple as we think. That power, leadership, and respect were not confined by gender even in ancient times. Every time archaeologists uncover another fragment of her burial, they get closer to piecing together the story of her life. But even if we never fully know her identity, the Chariot Queen has already achieved immortality. For 2,000 years, she lay forgotten beneath the soil. Now, she stands as a symbol of female strength, a reminder that history is full of hidden queens waiting to be rediscovered. The Chariot Queen is not just a story about bones and artifacts. It is about legacy, identity, and the truths that lie hidden beneath our feet. She is a queen without a name, a leader without a written history, but her presence speaks louder than words. Perhaps one day, further discoveries will tell us more. Until then, she remains what she has always been, a mystery. A queen who rides eternally into legend, her chariot waiting, her ponies ready, her story echoing through the ages. So the question remains, who was the Chariot Queen? A ruler, a priestess, a warrior, or perhaps all three?